Good morning, and thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering the NBA playoff games. We're going to be talking more on the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. We'll also be discussing John Jones discusses his next fight, and we'll also be talking about keeping the faith, feel-good stories, and make sure that you guys stick around for later in the show when we'll be diving into an oldie but a goodie segment of oddities of the day. Before we start, though, I wanted to ask that you guys like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from the viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is gsmcpodcast.net. This just puts your question at the top of the list so I can see it, and it also really helps the show.
Good
Hello,
morning,
Kate.
Miss Faith.
Good
How
morning.
are you doing here?
I'm good. I'm a little tired. I stayed up too late. I went out with some of my friends last night for dinner and stayed out too late.
Okay.
And then stayed up too late afterwards.
Your definition of going out, that is just going to dinner, or did you guys have drinks? What did
We
you
had
guys
drinks
do?
at dinner. So we went to where I live. We have a Korean barbecue place, and so we went and did Korean barbecue together. And so lots of food, and we had soju as well. And then
I don't even know. What is soju?
soju. I don't. How would you describe soju?
I've never even heard of soju. That's
It's
the weird thing.
not. Soju isn't like the same as sake, but it's like pop.
Oh,
But it's in like those little
the
glass
little
bottles.
those little sake jars.
Yeah, yeah. But soju is like Korean, so it's sweet and yeah, I think it's like I don't know how you would describe soju if you don't
See,
already know what it is.
that is, see, soon when you say that, I've always noticed that a lot of women gravitate to the sweeter alcoholic
Hmm.
drinks. Those suckers are dangerous because you're like, you got a dessert in a glass and you're just like, and next thing you
Hmm.
know, you're stumbling around feeling
Yeah,
really
and
good.
the the hangovers from the sweet drinks aren't great either.
See, I didn't even think about that. Also, everyone, I apologize about the sniffling, the coughing, sneezing. I got it all over here. So I make sure I time my medicine
Hmm.
so that it's at its peak performance. So I take it an hour before I do this show so I could make it through the show.
Yeah.
So I am very sorry if I'm a little scratchy anyway. So it's see, because now what time did you went to dinner? What time do
Hmm.
you normally go to dinner?
We went at 7:30, but I don't think we started eating till 8.
Okay, that's more like the Portuguese.
Hmm.
Man, they don't even think about going until like 7, 8 o'clock before they'll leave.
Hmm.
And then they'll be there for 3, 4, 5 hours just hanging out and eating. And that's all
Yeah,
that's
that was
that
we
was
got
you
there
guys
at
last night.
we got there at 7:30 and we left at 10. And then I stayed up for a couple more hours after that. I didn't go to bed till like midnight, I don't think.
Okay, that is now see, that is abnormal for you.
Yes, it is.
That is abnormal for
Yeah.
you,
Hmm.
yes. So, all right,
Yeah.
let's dive into this because Faith, I'm I'm bewildered, I'm shocked,
I
I'm confused.
Yeah, I figured you
So,
would be.
so, so go ahead and release the hounds, let's just say.
Alrighty, yes. So we're going to be covering the NBA playoffs, and we're first going to start off with the Knicks versus the Pacers. So there have been 4 games at Madison Square Garden in this postseason, and all 4 have been within 3 points in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. It's the perfect environment for thrilling basketball, and that's all it's seen in the last 17 days. The latest instance was the Knicks' 121-117 victory in Game 1 of their Eastern Conference semifinal series against the Pacers on Monday. These 48 minutes were a lot different than the Knicks' first-round series against the 76ers, but in the end, very much the same. Once again, Dante Vincenzo.
DiVincenzo.
Okay, yeah. Hit the biggest shot of the night, a 29-foot catch and shoot three-pointer that gave the Knicks a 3-point lead with 39.4 seconds left. Once again, Josh Hart played all 48 minutes and grabbed some huge offensive rebounds, and once again, Jalen Brunson scored at least 40 points. There have been 4 games at Madison Square Garden in this post. Oh, nope, sorry.
Okay, I'm like, where are you going here, sister?
Restarting my notes, I guess.
What did you say about that other drink you had there?
And a turnaround in traffic to tie the game with 1 minute and 14 seconds to go. He's an elite of a one-on-one player as there is, Pacers guard TJ McConnell said. He's playing at a really high level, so we got to find ways to make it even tougher on him. We're not going to shut a guy like that. You've got to make it really difficult. With the score still tied on the next postseason, the Pacers did try to make it more difficult, finally sending a double team at another Brunson isolation versus Nebhard, but Aaron Neesmith's help wasn't aggressive enough, allowing Brunson to make an easy pass to DiVincenzo. Then Tyrese Halliburton was a little too slow to rotate the corner. The Pacers can certainly clean some things up on the end of the floor, and that goes beyond their defense on Brunson.
Okay. This is one of those games. First off, this was a great game. This was, I mean, in my opinion, a very close game. This is going to be one of those series that's going to be really fun to watch. It's what makes it great. They're not the sexiest 2 teams. The Knicks are sexy because it's New York. But Knicks and Indiana, the teams as a whole, they're not sexy. They're just complete teams, and that's what I like about it. When you look at it, all their players contribute, all on both sides of the ball. The Knicks, great defense, nice offense. Pacers, great defense, really nice offense. It was a fun, close series. Looking at Halliburton and Brunson, both of these guys. You look around and you're just like, man, they're balling, they're doing what they need to do, and man, it's just a really close series. So Jalen Brunson with 43 points. It's his 4th consecutive 40-point game. You understand that's Kobe, Jordan, rarefied air. But the Knicks kind of stayed in there. They had, how many players did they have in double figures here? It was like a balanced performance by both teams. I don't really have a lot of bad things to say about either one of them. Indiana can look at this game and say, we let one, slip through our fingers. The Knicks still going with their Villanova trio. That story is a big story to me. Having 3 players from a Villanova team, and they're showing that they're used to working together and they work well together. That's Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart are all like just, performing incredibly well. That trio matched a 74-year NBA record by winning when they won their first round series. Let's see, looking at some of the other things that's going on here. I'm looking at my notes. As a whole, my big thing when I say and I look at this game is this is a 7-game series. I could easily see both of these teams holding serve all the way through the playoffs. I'm very curious to see how they make the adjustments And with, the Knicks, this is when you look at basketball and you start looking at it, and I was talking about this in the production meeting yesterday. When you look around and you're like, look, there's no LeBron, there's no Giannis, there's no Steph Curry, there's no Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, and all those guys. But what they do have is the New York Knicks. And there's a lot of there's a lot of people that have been waiting on the Knicks to actually contend.
Mm-hmm.
The winner out of this series is gonna have a real shot at making the NBA Finals. The question is, will one of these two teams actually win? Whoever wins that first away game, I feel like that's the difference. The Knicks have home field advantage, so they can just keep holding serve and really, and win by winning just their home games. But this is a series that really, have me working. Not a real sexy game though, just a very hard, tough game. These are two strong defensive-minded teams, incredibly deep and well coached, and so gives room for a really great series. So that was my overall opinion. I know what. I don't know who I have in this series. Like when I start thinking about who do I think is going to win this series? It is so close. If you were like, hey, you have to pick a winner, I'm gonna say Knicks in 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lean toward the Knicks in 7. But if you told me Indiana 1-7, I wouldn't be shocked. That's how evenly matched up these two teams are, and that's it. I'm excited. We'll know more game 2. But right now, I thought both teams did great.
Yeah. Well, before we move on to the next game, we actually got a comment from Twitch. It is coming from Diggs BTW1. They just said, "Hey, what's up?"
What's up, Diggs?
What's up?
Thank you for watching, my man.
Yeah, thank you.
Love that you gave some comments.
Yeah.
We always love getting comments and feedback, especially during a segment.
Mm-hmm.
So getting comments, we encourage everyone to give more comments.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
If I had my way, I would love to have it where it's just like an entire segment just answering questions.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That would be nice. Instead of talking about Faith's sake addiction.
Let it be known that I am not.
She is going to the
put
Betty's
that
Florida
out on
Clinic.
the internet. My gosh.
She is at the Betty's Florida Clinic starting next week. No, I'm just joking.
Oh my gosh.
You know I'm joking, Faith. So.
Alrighty, well, moving on, we have the Timberwolves versus the Nuggets. So Karl Anthony Towns scored 27 points and grabbed 12 rebounds. Anthony Edwards also had 27 points and the visiting Minnesota Timberwolves defeated the Denver Nuggets 106-80 on Monday to take a 2-0 lead in a Western Conference semifinal series. Minnesota won without center Rudy Gobert, who was away from the team for the birth of his first child. The Timberwolves, holding a decisive edge on the reigning NBA champions, head back to Minneapolis for Game 3 for the best-of-7 series on Friday. Even without Gobert, a 3-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, the Timberwolves held Denver to a season low in points. Jamal Murray scored 8 points on 3 for 18 shooting, but had a career-high 13 rebounds, and Nikola Jokic finished with 16 points and 16 rebounds.
Okay.
Ooh, Tate.
Okay, first off, I have a confession to make. In my head, we were covering the Knicks segment 1 and Denver and the Minnesota Timberwolves segment 2, and then I realized, I'm like, oh, we're not going to break. You can tell I got a cold because I am not 100% here. Okay, Faith, I am confused, befuddled, mesmerized, captivated, and everything else you can throw in between there. I thought this was a foregone conclusion. Denver was going to come in. Minnesota's a nice story this year.
Hmm.
Yay, they won their first round series. Then they're going to roll into Denver, get beat down, and then Denver's going to roll into the Eastern Conference Finals.
Hmm.
That's really what I thought was going to happen. Uh, Minnesota kind of reminds me of the Lakers, what the Lakers wanted to do this year.
Yeah.
The difference is this is what the Lakers wanted to do. This is what Minnesota is doing, which is big, strong team, deep, physical, slow the game down. It's been and it's working. But the big difference between what the Lakers were trying to do and what Minnesota is doing is it is obvious. Minnesota, big, strong team, but also young and athletic.
Hmm.
The Lakers are not as athletic. Now, when I look at these games and I look, and it's weird because Jokic is the best player in basketball. And I watched this game and I thought, okay, yeah, they slipped on a banana peel game one. They're going to bring the pain this game. And it wasn't the case, not at all. Jokic seemed frustrated. I mean, really frustrated. I mean, the Nuggets in general, shooting 32% in the first half, and they came up and they're trailing 61-35 at the halftime. Overall, shooting for the game, 34.9%, 30% from 3-point land. And like I said, the Joker, who has been Mr. Consistency.
Hmm.
Is there a name? The question I asked a colleague of mine a while back, is there an answer for Jokic? And I said, if you double team him, he will destroy you by passing. If you put him one-on-one, he will destroy you by scoring. Wrong. Minnesota has figured this out. And this is Jokic just seemed he struggled. He had lots of turnovers. The defense was just getting to him. Jokic seemed frustrated, clumsy. I've never seen him that way. And after game one, a reporter came to Jokic and said, how do you deal with the three big men that Minnesota's throwing at me? He said, you're going to have to clone me, meaning there's only one of him on the court and there's
Hmm.
three of them. And last night it was only two. This beatdown happened with the defensive player of the year not even playing. Rudy Gobert didn't play because the birth of his child was so he was in Denver. I mean, he was in Minnesota.
Hmm.
So you didn't even have the defensive player of the year, and they still frustrated Jokic. Pretty much from the second half, pretty much the second half, I'm not saying he quit. It just seemed like he gave up. Like, man, this is the way it's gonna be. This is like having the long break. They don't have another game until the weekend. This is exactly what they needed because if there was a game today or tomorrow, I think mentally Denver would be done.
Hmm.
I would be calling for a gentleman's sweep or something like that because Minnesota has gotten in their head. But this long layoff with a team like Denver, defending champions, it gives them that opportunity to get their mind right, get focused. Coach has extra time to start scheming and preparing for what they're seeing out on the court. So there's time to make an adjustment. The next game, Denver, for me to say, Faith, the next game, game 3, is a must-win game. It's a must-win game. Even now, when you look at a playoff series, when a team wins the first 2 games, they're 36-5 in the history of the NBA. 36-5. It just doesn't, it doesn't happen. So go down 3-0, and it's never happened. You're not coming back from that. So even though the next game's in Minnesota, they have to come out and play hard. But guess what? Rudy Gobert is going to be back. And they can put these guys one-on-one with Jokic. They can double team him. They can stretch the floor. They're doing everything right. And here's the thing. I haven't even mentioned Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has been, I'm calling him the happy Kobe. 27 points, 7 assists in the game. And then there's Karl Anthony Towns following it up with 27 points, 12 rebounds. These guys are, just, it feels like, it's weird to say, the better team is performing here. They're showing they're the better team. There is no way I saw that coming. I would not have said that Minnesota would have been the better team under no scenario. Rudy Gobert's out. Their coach is out. He's not there. If you remember, in the first round, another player crashed into him and blew out his knee. Coach is running on 2 flats. Yeah. So the coach is out. The defensive player of the year is out. And these guys are kicking Denver's butt. Mm. What happens with Rudy Gobert coming back? Is it crazy? Charles Barkley, I was watching him, and he's like, he wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't a sweep. I'm not going to go that far, but it's a must win. Coming up, it is a must win or you're done. Mm-hmm. It is that important for them. The conference, the NBA champions must win this next game. So I know I got a little long-winded there, but
it's okay.
Yes. Sorry about the clearing my throat and all this stuff, guys.
He's a little sick.
Playing a little injured here.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about more on Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. And we'll also be talking about John Jones discusses his next fight. So make sure you guys stick around, and we'll be back in a minute.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Earlier we were talking about the NBA playoff games, and now we're going to be discussing more on the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, and then we'll also be talking about John Jones discussing his next fight. Before we do that though, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is gsmcpodcast.net. This just puts your question to the top of the list so I can see it, and it also really helps the show. Alrighty.
I just gave you 2 thumbs up. Faith is like, okay, that's all you're going to do? You're not going to... You do realize this is a video show. You need to actually talk.
Okay. All right. So, moving into our next segment, we're going to be talking more on the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. So Jake Paul says he has to end Mike Tyson as the summer fight is sanctioned. So Jake Paul and Mike Tyson have been building up their fight with a war of words and ferocious training videos aimed at one another in recent weeks. With the fight recently being sanctioned, Paul suggests he has something bigger to accomplish when he steps into the ring on July 20th. I love Mike. I'm super respectful of him. It's an honor to be in the ring with him, but I have to end it, Paul told USA Today at Formula One's Grand Prix of Miami on Sunday. It's war. All is fair in love and war. I love the guy, but as soon as it turned into a pro fight, one of us has to die, the YouTube star turned boxer added. The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation approved the rules for the fight last week. It was sanctioned as a professional boxing match, meaning the rounds will be shorter and the gloves heavier. This will be a professional bout with a referee and judges, and the results will count as part of the fighter's professional records. So it's an actual competitive fight, a spokesperson for the agency told the Associated Press. Paul last fought Ryan Borland in Puerto Rico and won via TKO. He's 9-1 in his professional boxing career, with his only blemish coming against Tommy Fury via split decision. Tyson is 50-6 in his professional career. His last professional fight, which he lost, was against Kevin McBride. Tyson had an expedition bout against Roy Jones Jr. in November of 2020. Paul fought Nate Robinson on that card. So I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. I see this when Faith starts out with a little bit of a laugh and all this stuff. It's like, I love it because Faith is about to drop some knowledge. What you got?
It's just
for me,
like, it seems like Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are like those like toxic exes, and they're trying to do everything possible to like show like, oh, like, look what I'm doing without you, like I'm so much better without you. Like, that's the vibes that I'm getting from like them going and talking to these reporters and saying the things that they're saying, and like recording these like boxing videos and posting them on social media. It just seems like it's just like, hey, look at me over here, like don't forget about me type.
Well, you know what though? Wait a minute.
That's how I feel.
There it is, right there. Okay, that is by design. What you just said, that last part, is by design. They're dropping these videos and things, and it is exactly what you said. Hey, don't forget the fight is coming up. Yeah. Hey, don't forget the fight is coming up. Because most people do not buy the pay-per-view until that night. Granted, this is not a pay-per-view though. This is going to be on Netflix. Yes, but they don't watch until that night. So it's releasing all this stuff. So, hey, don't forget, we're fighting. Don't forget, we're fighting. Also, there's been some talk that at one point that the fight could get canceled and things. Here's what shocked me, Faith. There's something that surprised me, and that's why the fact that they're sanctioning this as a real fight. This is not an exhibition. That's a big difference. This is not going to be a fun kind of, let's see how things go. No one's going to get knocked out. We're going to set things up. No, this is a real fight, sanctioned in Texas. And I'm surprised that Tyson was able to, at 58, get sanctioned as a fighter, because now you've opened Pandora's box of saying, listen, a 58-year-old fighter can get sanctioned to fight, then a lot of other 58-year-old fighters can get sanctioned to fight. This now makes it so you're going to be doing regular boxing rules. I think it makes it even scarier for Mike, in my opinion. I'm a big Mike Tyson fan, but I don't give Mike any chance of winning. And as much as I want to see Mike, you have the younger, more athletic fighter, hungrier, against a 58-year-old man who's trying to hold on to days gone by. I'm predicting now a knockout. I'm predicting a knockout, Jake Paul. The only shot I pretty much give Mike, and I love Mike. I don't want to see Mike get knocked out or lose, but I don't see, unless Mike catches him early, first round, maybe second round. That's it. After that, and the reason why, when you fight, your power is at its peak in the earlier rounds. As the fight goes on, as you get tired, the power goes down less and less and less. The longer this fight goes, the less likely Tyson has a chance of catching Jake Paul. But Jake Paul, being the younger athletic fighter, he can hold his stamina, his power just lasts longer. And you're at your athletic peak at 28, not at 58. You're in that days gone by. So I am really curious about this. I will be watching. I hope no one gets hurt. I'm going to say it again, Faith. But if my man Tyson catches him,
I'm gonna be screaming like a little
I'm gonna
girl.
be screaming. You're gonna think it's some of them little old church ladies at the Baptist church dancing in the aisles. That's gonna be me, because I would not. I know you can't picture that, especially with my voice and everything right now, but would love to see this. If Tyson knocks out Jake Paul, he is forbidden to fight ever again. No matter what, this should be Mike Tyson's last fight ever. Because if he catches him, Mike Tyson's fame goes through the roof. If he loses, it's just it's over. I would not fight anymore after this. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. Looking forward to it. But I got Jake Paul winning. You cannot turn the time back at 58. I can catch a fool with one shot, but I can't be going no late round. Don't even get me halfway through the first round. I'm taking a knee. And that's against Faith. That's against you.
Nah.
4'1" over here.
4'11".
Sorry about that, Faith.
Alrighty, well, moving on to our next story, we have Jon Jones discusses his next fight and responds to criticism over the back-to-back hiatus. So Jon Jones, the current UFC heavyweight champion, has recently provided updates on his return to the octagon after a period of recovery and controversy. Initially slated to defend his title against Stipe Miocic at UFC 295 in November last year.
Stipe Miocic.
Oh, yeah. At UFC 295 in November last year, Jones was sidelined due to a torn pectoral muscle.
Wait, that wasn't Stipe. He didn't fight Stipe in the last one.
This is what this says.
Nope, he did not. He did not fight Stipe. So this article made a little slip up. He was scheduled to fight Stipe, but apparently that fight's not happening. And so now, go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to change your whole thing up, but they're a little off in this article. Where's this article from anyway? Just wanted to make sure I cited my sources if I'm going to call them out for making things wrong.
MSN.
Oh, MSN slipping up like that. Wow. All right. So go ahead, keep on.
Alrighty, so following his recovery from injury, Jones responded to fan inquiries on social media about his return, indicating that he has a scheduled date, but opting to let UFC President Dana White make the official announcement. Despite requests for him to disclose the date, Jones clarified that it's currently a verbal agreement without specifics. However, Jones faced a setback when he became embroiled in controversy early this month during a visit with allegations made against him by a drug-free sport employee. The employee claimed that Jones had taken her phone and made threats, prompting Jones to respond with the video accusing her of unprofessional behavior. Looking ahead to potential future matchup, Jones expressed interest in facing Alex Pereira.
Yes, very good.
After his anticipation fight with, but you said that didn't happen with
Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic, considered the greatest heavyweight of all time, from Cleveland, Ohio. Everyone talked about LeBron as the one that brought a championship to Cleveland. Stipe brought a championship a year before LeBron did, just to make sure everyone knows who Stipe is. Put some respect on his name. Okay.
So Jones' return to the octagon remains eagerly anticipated by fans, with his potential matchups generating considerable interest and speculation within the MMA community.
Okay. Jon Jones is the most talented, greatest fighter in mixed martial arts history. I'm going to say in martial arts history, Jon Jones is the GOAT. Okay? He is the greatest to ever do this. But I'm at the point where I'm thinking like, man, this is going to upset some MMA fans. Probably upset Jon Jones if he saw this. I would like to see Jon Jones start thinking about retiring, not fighting more. And it's one of those things where Jon Jones, when he had his first fight come back, and the guy's slipping my mind who he fought, but he had been out for an incredibly long time, like over 2 years when he fought. And that fight was done in like a minute, 2 to 3 minutes. That fight was over and he won. From there, he ended up getting injured. He was supposed to fight Stipe, ended up getting injured. I think he hurt his shoulder, and he's been out an extended period of time here. So when you look around, Jon really hasn't fought in like 40 years. And before that, he had a long layoff again. Fighters don't get better, ladies and gentlemen. They do not get better by not fighting. You don't in the last 6 years, 7 years, Jon Jones is averaging like a fight every 2 years. That you can get away with that when you're 25, 26, 27. But you are not going to keep getting away with it as you get older, flying too close to the sun like Icarus out there when you're fighting at the heavyweight division. Mm-hmm. The guys hit too hard. If you slip up in the heavyweight division, you can get put to sleep. And that's what I worry about with Jon Jones. Not that I don't worry about somebody being better than Jon Jones. I don't think that person exists. I'm going to say it again. I don't think there's a person alive that is more skilled than Jon Jones, that is better than Jon Jones. Make that clear. But I think Jon Jones is ripe for the taking because of the lack of activity, the injury to his shoulder, all the drug suspensions. He has not had a consistent run of fights in a very long time. And that makes if a fighter being off a year, people talk about ring rust, ring rust, ring rust. If a fighter's been out 2 years, it's even worse. But when you say a fighter's only fought maybe 3 minutes in the last 4 years, that's kind of what I think it has been. Do me a favor, Ryan. If you could look up when John Jones's last fight was, the last 2 fights, if you can find that. If you can't, I understand. You cannot just keep going these long periods of inactivity. I don't think there's going to be a fighter beat John Jones. I think John Jones' activity is going to beat him. And these are things you can't get back. It's not one of those things where it's like, well, even if he got caught, he would get him in the rematch. When you get older and you start letting your skills slide and you're not fighting on a regular basis, it's hard to get those skills back. The most skilled fighter of all time, yes, John Jones is. But he's just been super, super inactive. And it's not like John Jones has had the cleanest lifestyle. He's not out there eating kale and drinking protein shakes. John Jones is out there living life. You know, John Jones, we've talked about some of the drug allegations, the steroid allegations, the issues with criminal activities. I don't mean any harm by saying that because I'm just stating the facts. John Jones and Anderson Silva are my 2 favorite fighters to ever walk the planet. So when I say this about John Jones, and I say this and tell you that I'm concerned, I'm telling you this by clarifying, I'm not bad-mouthing Jones. Jones is my favorite. John Jones and Anderson Silva are my 2 favorite fighters in history. Were you able to find his?
So his last one was March 4th, 2023 with Cyril Gane.
Cyril Gane was his last fight. Yes.
Yeah, but before that, he hadn't done one in 3 years because before that it was February 8th, 2020 with Dominic Reyes.
Yes. Okay. So he fought Reyes in 2020. He fought 3 minutes with Gane in 2023. Since 2020, he has been in the ring for about 3 minutes. Since 2020. 2020, Faith, I was wearing a mask, living in California, worried about a pandemic. This is 2024. I'm doing a show with Faith while living in Portugal. You can't take that much time off. You cannot be that inactive and still stay on the mountaintop. You slide. Every single month you are not training. Every single month you do not fight. You can go in there and practice and things of that nature, but until you're getting real world work in the ring, you don't simulate a fight. You have to have that fight. And that's my concern with John Jones.
Yep.
So.
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into our Keeping the Faith feel-good stories for the week. So make sure you guys stick around, and we will be back in a minute.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about more on Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, and now we're going to be, and we were also talking about John Jones discussing his next fight, and now we're going to be diving into the our Tuesday special of Keeping the Faith, Feel Good Stories. So, cute little sprinkle of positivity.
Just a little sprig of flowers and sunshine. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay, I can handle that. I can handle a little sprig of sunshine. Drop it.
Alrighty, so a guardian angel drives strangers in need, asks for nothing in return. An internet post that brought together strangers is reminding people of how much good there is out in the world. Lynn's story is a retiree in Fort Worth, Texas. The 64-year-old had a lot of free time on her hands until she met April Goodwin, 46, who had been diagnosed with uterine cancer. I had no transportation and I didn't know what to do, Goodwin said. She found help on the community app Nextdoor. Someone spoke up and said, "I'll take you to your appointments," and I kind of ignored it because it was a stranger. "What do you do?" So she messaged me again and said, "I'll take you. I mean it. I'm honest. I'm sincere." That stranger was Story, and over the last year, she has taken Goodwin to more than 25 radiation appointments, 6 chemotherapy treatments, and countless doctor visits. One time her car broke down and she goes and flags down somebody in the middle of traffic to get me to my chemo, Goodwin said. Story's kindness doesn't stop there. Months after meeting Goodwin, she was on the Nextdoor app again when she noticed a post from Kevin Horrigan, who is legally blind. "Lynn's like an angel," said Horrigan. "She really is, because I can't drive." Hard times drove Horrigan out of retirement. Now Stories lessen his burdens. "Lynn drives me to work, or she picks me up from work. It helps me tremendously. Very big help," he said. Story said she started thinking of herself as a bad weather friend. "You know, fair weather friends are only there when everything's good for you," she said, "but a bad weather friend is there to help you in times of need." When a stranger just a year ago, they were strangers just a year ago and have now developed a lifetime-changing friendship. "The best way for me to feel good is to help other people feel good, just to make it easier for them," Story said. For Story, it's her history that helped shape her who she is today. She was arrested for shoplifting 45 years ago. "I learned to stop it, to be better. I went into therapy and kind of got a feel for why I felt the need for the high for shoplifting, and that helped. And then many years later, I was diagnosed as bipolar, and that helped me because I got on medication to make me even instead of the highs and the lows. And so that made a big difference," she said. Determined to be better, Story was 31 when she donated her healthy bone marrow to a critical ill patient she didn't even know. So it should come as no surprise when she recently asked to foster a dog named Sully, who is disabled with 3 legs. She was eager to sign up. Filled with love, Story's own story is life-changing for so many. "She's my guardian angel," Goodwin said. This lady just keeps
Make sure
adding
you
to the list.
understand. This is no hate being flung at this woman. But lady, slow down. Damn, you're making us all look bad over here. I do a lot to try to help people. That's one of my things. I love helping people. But dang, I can't even keep up with this woman. I'm gonna give you bone marrow. I'm gonna drop the blind guy off to his Braille classes. I'm taking this lady.
She's taking the
chemo.
guy who can't see to work. Maybe not say taking him to his Braille classes.
She adopted a 3-eyed dog. She done everything, Faith. What else hasn't she done?
3-legged dog.
Man.
Yeah, honestly though, she is.
She giving leprechauns Lucky Charms cereal. She's doing everything. This woman, I'm not, like I said, I'm not throwing shade at her, but she is doing too much.
Yeah.
You slow it down. You gotta pace yourself. I started losing track of the program because it was like, okay, she's taking. Is this about her taking the woman to chemo, which is amazing? And guys, I'm gonna do a serious one, a note on this one. More people should do that. a lot of people that are going through cancer. I've had family members that have gone through cancer and things. The hardest part is getting someone to take you there sometimes. You know, they're older, they can't drive. It's hard for them to get there, and every chemo appointment matters. So I love that. I wish there were more people out there that would do things like that. Then what was the next thing? She took the blind guy to the Braille classes
to work. She would pick him up and drop him off at work.
I'm joking. I'm joking on that one. That's awesome. Sometimes, you know, sometimes it's hard to get to work. One of the things that I've done, I always try to give back by, you know, even at GSMC, I try to make sure when we have different positions open and different opportunities, I always try to make sure it goes to an intern, someone who's just starting out, to help them. If I'm in line at a grocery store, you know, sometimes if I see someone and they're short cash, I'll pick up the extra for them. Things like that. I'm kind of weird. I don't like giving to charity. I don't like giving to the big charities. I like giving charity in my own backyard. If I see a man or a woman that needs help, I like to help them. If I see a woman in line and, you know, you're a little short, making up the difference. Sometimes during Christmas, you somebody in line, you see an older person in line or a kid in line, picking up their tab for them. I'm kind of that guy, and I've done that throughout my life. This is why I love this one so much, because this person is really given a lot. And when I read this, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
At the age of 64, too. She's doing all of this, and she's
damn,
64 years old. Yeah.
Oh, see, this has changed my whole picture. She needs to slow down even more. I thought this was like a 20, 30-year-old woman doing this. And, you know, in this story, you get, what I like about this story is you get a sprinkle of what her life is like as well. People don't realize the story isn't the shoplifting. Yes, she got in trouble for shoplifting. But if you've ever dealt with anyone who is bipolar, or you know someone who is bipolar, I have a cousin that's bipolar, and so you know the struggle that they go through. That, I don't wish being bipolar on anybody. That is so hard, and people don't look at depression and anxiety. They're different than being bipolar. Or schizophrenia. A lot of times the mental illnesses or
they're overlooked for sure.
They're massively overlooked and also massively undertreated. And so people will go their entire life and never be taken care of and never treated. This is a great example of why they need to be treated. This woman went through and dealt with something that I could never. She's stronger than me. I see what happens with people with bipolar. My goodness. So this woman has been able to deal with being bipolar, be able to get on a drug regimen, stay on the drug regimen, and turn her life around, all at the same time helping someone else get to their cancer treatments, helping another person get to work, a blind person getting to work. She's giving back on so many levels. So I appreciate what she's done on this one. Does that make sense? I didn't mean to make it, it's I try to make them lighthearted, but it's the truth. These are hard things. We all know people that have dealt with anxiety and depression, but people don't realize how dangerous that can be. Bipolar, I put on another level. Bipolar, that's incredibly hard. So
yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. You have anything on this one?
I just think it's a really sweet story. to
I like
help
this one.
out.
This is a
To
good
help
one.
out a total stranger and then like build a friendship based upon that is just so sweet.
Is it, have you ever went out your way and tried to help someone? Uh,
I used to, so when I was in a sorority, we had to do like community service. That was a part of being in a sorority. Um, and I always liked doing the community service. I thought it was fun. I always did stuff with like animals though. I always did stuff with the
yeah.
animal shelter and
My coolest one that I've ever done, and I can't take credit from it. I learned this from Shaquille O'Neal. And I think I told you this one, right? Did I tell you, did I bring that up?
you may have.
You see people in my hometown, whenever I go back to my hometown, sometimes you'll see people putting clothes or things in layaway.
Hmm.
And so I've gone and instead of putting it in layaway is they don't have enough money to buy the clothes.
Right. Hmm.
So they put a little bit down and the company holds it for them. And I've helped people who trying to put clothes on layaway just cover it for them. Just
Hmm.
go ahead, get it now on me, no strings attached. And that's the hard part, especially as a African American male.
Hmm.
Uh, Going up to someone and offering to cover, what they're putting on layaway or help them or cover their groceries. And especially if it's a woman, it's kind of like, what do you want?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That's the first thing that pops in people's heads
Hmm.
is there's an angle. Either he wants, either he's trying to con me or he's trying to get something, if
Hmm.
you understand, reading between
Hmm.
the lines there. And having to be like, listen, there's absolutely no strings attached. I just want to help.
Hmm.
Or different things like that. I love this kind of story.
Hmm.
There should be more of these kind of stories out
Yes,
there.
absolutely.
So
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into the oddities of the day. Sounds so weird. I haven't said that in forever. But
faith myth is wait,
I'm
wait. Faith, you forgot our announcement about these oddities.
oh yes, they'll be
Don't
coming
call it
back
don't call
soon.
it a comeback. It's been here for years.
All right, guys. Well, we'll be right back.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about keeping the faith, feel good stories, the guardian angel who drove strangers in need. And now we're going to be diving into our oddities of the day.
Okay, I wanted to say one other thing before you dive into your oddities.
Mm-hmm.
Going to that last story about people helping other people. And it made me think about, I was thinking about some of the things that I've done. But there's a friend of mine. She lives in Cleveland. Her name is Carrie. And every year, she's been doing this for like over a decade. Once a year, she'll go around and she'll use her money. She'll ask people to donate money, and they will donate like book bags.
Mm-hmm.
And they will fill them up with all the things that the homeless people need. And some of the things are overlooked, like
Mm-hmm.
socks, toothbrush,
Mm-hmm.
pants, shirts, things of that nature. And she'll fill her car up with all these book bags.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll go around and she gives out these book bags to the homeless. And I always thought that was incredibly cool as well. And that's kind of like a tradition. And people, it's gotten to be so big. People are donating to, and donating book bags and things for her as well. So there are people out there that are helping. There's not enough of those stories, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So,
alrighty. Well, moving on from that, we've got our oddities of the day. So a nude cruise is set to sail from Florida next year.
You did not tell me this. Okay. Can I interrupt this for a minute?
Yeah.
I sent this to Faith. And I sent it to Faith because she didn't know.
Surprise!
there was nude cruises out there. You totally surprised me on this one. So were you shocked when you got the message?
Yeah.
I sent it to her via TikTok. So now, girl, you commenting. I gotta hear your comments as well.
Okay, all right. So the Big Nude Boat Cruise, which allows passengers to bear all, yes, even at the buffet, is set to set sail from Florida next year. The 11-day adventure to the Caribbean is set for the first 2 weeks of February on the Norwegian Pearl, according to the Bare Necessities Tour and Travel website. Bare Necessities' newest nude cruise is a private island double dip with a brand new travel partner. The company wrote on its website, the trip, which embarks from Miami, includes an exclusive visit to an idyllic private island in the Bahamas, as well as another exclusive stop on the way back to the port of Miami. 2 opportunities to enjoy a new slice of paradise, coupled with a beautiful selection of Eastern Caribbean island stops, will make this a can't-miss big nude boat experience, the travel company posted. The ship departs from the port of Miami on February 3rd and returns to the same port on February 14th. The itinerary includes stops at Bahamas, Puerto Rico, St. Martin, Dominica, Martinique, and St. Lucia. Rates for an inside cabin start at $2,000 per person. They stretch as high as around $33,000 for the top room on the ship, a Haven 3-bedroom garden villa. Guests are encouraged to park their bare behinds on towels provided on board in areas including the pool deck and the buffet area, according to the website. Passengers can easily follow our rule on nudist etiquette by always placing a towel down before sitting, it reads. Remember to pack a swimsuit. Not all excursions are clothing optional.
Faith, February 3rd, we're doing the show from the cruise,
no,
girl.
We are
Come
not.
on, Faith.
No.
We going live February 3rd to Miami.
No. That is not something that I want to see. No,
yep,
thank
Faith,
you.
All 11 days is gonna be live. Faith, our ratings gonna go through the roof.
You would have to pay me a couple million to go work on a nudist cruise.
Listen, here's the reason why it's going to be successful. We're going to get there on the 3rd. All these people are going to tune in because they want to see Faith. But then when they see, when they see me in the buff, they're going to be tipping to make me put clothes on. They're going to be like, please, put that all away, put the gut away, all that.
I am not going on a nude cruise.
You know I'm joking on that one. People with paying the big money, please just cancel the show. Never come back on again, ever.
No,
Remember
thank you.
I told you, Faith, they rent out entire cruise ships, rent out islands. Mm-hmm. Most people think it's like 4 or 5 people, 10 or 12 people. No, it's thousands of people that show up for these things. Mm-hmm. Entire cruise ships. You know how big a cruise ship is?
Yes, I'm going on.
Right.
Going on one soon. It's not a nudist cruise, by the way.
No.
Just put that out there.
Don't y'all be starting to think y'all gonna book no cruise. Nope. With my girl Faith. That ain't her thing.
It ain't happening.
And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, y'all gonna pay me to put clothes back on. So y'all don't want this. So it is. There's a little part of me curious though. I must admit, you wouldn't if there was a live feed. Wouldn't you be curious to peek in, see what's going on?
There are things that need to be left to the imagination.
You don't see the conga line getting a little complicated.
No, thank you.
The conga line and all this, and then they're talking about the towels. When you got it. Listen, if you sitting on these chairs and you don't got a towel, that's how fights break out. You can't be sitting on my chair. Matter of fact, you need an extra thick towel, double wrap. It should be, by the time when you get on the chair, if you get on my chair, it needs to be like a high chair. It needs to be like this much in towels up under you. So,
God, that poor crew. Oh my God.
Yes. Think about that. They don't
sign
really get a
contract. No, they don't. You sign a contract for at least like 16 months working on a ship. And so if you've already signed your contract, buddy, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to be seeing some things you probably didn't want to see at work for 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Imagine you're at work and it's today we got a private party. It's pre-reserved. You're already scheduled to work, and everybody's showing up with just a smile. That's it, a smile. Where do you don't even carry your wallet at that point. You understand where you understand?
Yeah. Wait. How does that work? Because you have to have a key
it's
card.
Easy.
You have to have a key card to get in.
I don't want to know where. I don't want to know where they're keeping the key card or where they're swiping. Think about that.
Credit or debit.
Letting you know right out the giddy up on that one. Next, that's why they do the cruise ship. You pay for the cruise up front because you can't be paying as you go. You don't have any pockets. You got a toothbrush and a smile. That's all you have on this cruise.
Oh my gosh.
That's all you packing.
Honestly, now that I think about it, I don't think you could pay me all the money in the world.
Yes, look, Faith, Sister Faith. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Anybody want to cut me off a nice check? I will show up right. That cheddar gotta be thick. You ain't gonna have me in there for a craft single. I need some cheddar cheese. I need a deep stack. You give me a stack of cash, I will show up in there. I'll be dropping it like it's hot.
No. It's gonna be a no for me.
I told you they came to my buddy and asked to rent his whole house. They wanted his whole house, backyard, everything. No. And they come and they pay. They pay serious money.
I'm not, you do whatever makes you happy, but I just can't understand nudists. Like, you just like walking around naked all the time.
I used to go every year and watch the Beta Breakers race. Mm-hmm. It's a 10K race. And I've said this before. A lot of people run it regular, like a regular 10K race. But there are some people that in San Francisco run the Beta Breaker. It's a 10K, and all they got on is tennis shoes and nothing else. Oh yeah, the Beta Breakers race, and they will run that bad boy, and they will run it every single year.
That hurts me.
And now you think about it, when you run in a 10K, and it's not all the fit people. I've told you this before. You got Grandma Goodrich and Daddy Sag Bottoms running the race. Everything is sagging and popping up and down and everything, and they're just running happy as everything, waving to the crowd. That's you end up tripping and pulling a hammy or something.
Do whatever makes you happy, but you won't ever see me turning into a nudist one day. That will not be a thing.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy how they do it. I mean, but people love it every year. I mean, they really do get into it, and I mean it's crazy. Do me a favor. It's not it's pretty wholesome. Look up Beta Breakers, and you'll see it's a pretty fun event. It's one of my favorite events in San Francisco. But you get a little bit of everything when they do it. It's a fun race, but it is thousands of people that show up.
Oh, that's cute.
See what I mean? So it's some people dress up, some people don't dress at all, some people run it for real, some people do what they're like chains and all this stuff where people are dressed up in the long chains and things. Awesome event, but I never understood the people that's like, you know what I want to do today? I think I'll run a 10K
naked.
And I really like my Nikes, but I don't have anything to wear with it, so I'm not wearing anything at all. If I can't find something to match my Nikes, I'm just running in my Nikes, and that's it. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Whatever makes you happy, though. So, if you want to join the big nude boat, you can. Check out the Bare Necessities Tour and Travel website.
What? This thing is kind of cheap, though.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Didn't you say that? Go ahead.
$2,000 a person?
That is super cheap. That is super cheap.
Let me think.
Think about it. Where can you get an 11-day Bahama cruise?
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah.
You understand?
Well,
what
because
I'm
I was
getting
thinking about how much mine was, but mine's only 5 days, so I was like, $2,000.
That's what I mean. You got an 11-day cruise. This is not the short one. For 2 G's is not bad. That's
included. Yeah.
I figured it would cost more because of the lack of clothing. I feel like that 2 G's should be at least 6 or 8, right? Or am I off?
No, you're right.
Well, I guess that they're saving money because it's like, guess what, guys? All the deck hands and everyone, y'all got the week off.
Well, there's
no luggage. There's no luggage to carry.
It starts at $2,000, but it says like the Haven 3-bedroom garden villa is at like $33,000. So
yeah, that's next level. It always shocks me when I see something like that. There's a resort here. It's not a nudist resort. It's just a resort. Right. And they have a group of villas. They're $10,000 a night, but they also have some like super mega villas that are like $25,000 a night. Faith, you coming in for a 2-week trip to Portugal, and it's $25,000 a night or $10,000 a night. That is, I'm not doing that. Even if I have the money or don't have the money, I'm not cutting that kind of check for a room. A room?
Yeah.
No, you get where I'm coming from. But 33 isn't that bad. But yeah, Faith. It's funny you did that one because we had talked about this and like, yeah, there's all cruises. Now you've seen them.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
All right. Any other parting words on the news cruise?
Nope.
I would love to see if there's anybody out there who's watching the show who has ever done a nude cruise, do they have trips or a nude camp or whatever?
Tate, we talked about nude bowling. I mean, they probably
nude bowling. That's absolutely out. But share with us. Let us know your experience at one of these events, because I think that's absolutely that'd be hard for me to do unless they were cutting off some serious cheddar. Then I can make it happen.
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we're going to close out the show for the day. Thank you so much for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content updates. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't